Hi, DCTV. Welcome to RADE. I'm Will.
And I'm Will too.
I'm Will too, come on.
With the RADE.
Excellent. Brilliant. We're going to start off with a trip down memory lane talking about Italia 90 and that amazing summer.
That brings back memories.
I was 13 years old.
I was about the same age myself.
Great, great.
Crazy days.
What a summer that was. Anyway, our first time going to the World Cup.
Yeah, I know. And it was, we just barely qualified. We were in a group with England, Holland, Egypt.
We got 3 draws.
And we got 3 draws.
And then we got into...
I don't think we didn't win a match.
We'll get to the group stages actually quickly, but just a few things to mention. Like we were expected to qualify for that tournament because of how we performed in Euro '88, and also like the T-shirts, the flags, they were all ready to go months in advance of us getting to Italia 90.
Ready to go. Yeah, you know. It was,
we had a great team.
The excitement, the summer, the whole atmosphere. Everywhere was building for months beforehand.
Panini made a fortune,
yeah, of course,
because all my all my spare like change and money went on the stickers, which I still didn't manage to finish the album.
Got a Panini sticker
I was six away. There was always those 6 that you'd have to get in the black market kind of thing. But anyway, the tournament comes around, and our first match is against the old enemy again. England.
Yeah. And they scored, I think, Lineker. Yes. He scored after 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Snuck his way in through McCarthy.
I know,
and almost stood on Bonner's head.
But luckily, she saved us after 70 minutes.
Yeah, but Ireland played good in that game. They played a lot better than they did against England in Euro '88, I think.
Yeah, we actually deserved it.
We definitely
deserved the draw. I don't know about a win, but we definitely deserved the draw.
Yeah.
The following match, I don't think there's even more mentioning.
I can't remember a single thing about it. Against Egypt.
Ireland and Egypt, it was the most boring match in existence.
Yeah.
It was 0-0. I don't think there was a shot on target.
I can't remember any chances.
Nobody can remember anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, it was in Palermo, and we played Holland next after that in Palermo as well.
But the one thing I do remember from the Egypt match is Eamon Dunphy. Yeah. What was it you said? What was it you said?
I don't know what you said, but I'm
yeah, this is great.
He freaked.
You threw the pen well. Like, you know, they're expensive nowadays, so I'm going to keep it right there. And the public reaction to Eamon, like, which was bizarre, because they even had T-shirts the next day with like Jack Charlton kicking Dunphy off the ass, and everybody had one. Like there was different ones, but I remember that one.
There was T-shirts for everything. Yeah, of course.
There was some really nasty ones as well, like Jack Charlton putting them through glass and stuff, you know. but anyway, that was 2 draws down, 1 game to go in the group, and then we had to play the European champion holders again. Yeah. Holland in the last game of the group again.
You had one of the best teams in the actual World Cup.
And England and Egypt were playing 0-0, and then England scored, right? So that would made that match 1-0 to England. So that meant England were going to top the group. But we weren't playing well against Holland that day.
Holland actually scored early on.
Holland scored early on, and they had total control over the game. So for the first time in a long time in Jack Charlton's reign, they had to go long ball, pump, 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 just get it up to Quinn, get it up to Cascarino, get it up to anyone.
I mean, I think that was I think that was the plan half the time, but it was desperation this time, you know.
This was just full on Wimbledon style, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. And luckily, the ball came to Quinn and bam, into the net.
It was a great finish.
It was a great finish,
What was the name of the goalkeeper again, the Dutch goalkeeper?
Hans van Breukelen.
Brilliant goalkeeper.
Yeah, he was a great keeper. He really was.
He was like a bleeding octopus. But that was 3 draws. So that meant, because we had the same goals and everything as Holland, we went into sort of like
There's still 20 minutes to go at that stage, and it was a sort of a stalemate.
Yes,
because we were both playing for a draw. We knew if we both drew, we were both going to draw.
So it was like pass around the back. We'll give you the ball. You just pass around the back. Yes.
Yeah.
It was
good.
It was.
That's the age we sort of knew we were going through.
It was like a bad game of snakes and ladders. Like it was like you just give it back down to.
Yeah.
But that was 3 draws. Now we went into a sort of a pot to see who got who in the last 16. Holland got the kiss of death, and then they got the phlegm of death. Actually, eventually, from Rijkaard to
Germany,
Vuller.
wasn't it?
Was it Vuller? Rudy Vuller, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rudy Vuller, yeah.
So they
Spat at Rijkaard.
got Germany, and they went out.
We got Romania.
And we got Romania with the great Georgie Hadji.
Yeah. Who Mick McCarthy
20 seconds.
sliced in half nearly.
20
20 seconds.
The quickest spell in World Cup history. And then he went on. He went on to do a huge achievement in that game. Like he ended up with the most fouls in one match in World Cup history.
Man.
The great Mick, huh?
And I mean, Hadji was he was the Romanian Maradona. He was super.
He was the engine for that team. A good Romanian team.
He was super.
He'd be worth about 200
and
million.
a lot of their players ended up in England after the World Cup.
Yes.
Because they were so good in the World Cup.
And they went on.
Petrescu and Dimitrescu and like.
They went on to perform even better in America '94.
Yeah, they were
with an older Hadji.
Great team, yeah.
It was a beautiful day in Drogheda that day. The game again wasn't too good. It was all right if you like that sort of tension-packed sort of affair where everybody's biting their nails and everybody's like, one mistake and we're gone.
Yeah, and every time Hadji got the ball, it felt like he was going to score.
Where's Mick? You know what I mean?
It just felt like, where's Mick? Mick, get him.
Get him quickly.
It worked out. Finally, we got the penalties, you know?
Yes, and I can remember us playing okay in extra time as well.
Yeah,
I think we played all right.
We played better in extra time than we did
in the match.
Which I think was more down to sort of Romania and their fatigue than anything else.
Because they put so much effort into the first 90 minutes,
So, going into the penalties, I think we were sort of more hopeful. You know, because
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but watching that back in Drogheda, I was shitting myself.
I think everybody was in a way. I mean, as I said, in Dublin, it was all based around Walkerstown, with the submarine bar as the headquarters for the whole of Dublin.
I heard, yeah.
The Kestrel and the Cherry Tree as well.
The Cherry Tree.
And I mean, it's still, if you go back on reeling in the years, you can see the clips of like people just going run amok, doing like handbrake turns around the walk roundabout, hanging out the windows, the Irish flags, you know.
And we had the whole steps. We had the whole steps of like St. Peter's Cathedral, like packed with people just drinking cider and beer, and you know what I mean. And like there was a big screen across the road. It was fantastic.
It was good though. But then came the penalty shoot.
Who was up first? Who was up first, Will? The first penalty taken for?
Sheedy.
Sheedy was up first.
Sheedy, yeah.
Right, buried it.
Yeah. Sheedy, then Houghton, Townsend.
Cascarino. I remember Cascarino took the penalty spot off. Do you remember? The ball went into the net, but the penalty spot wasn't too far behind it.
Yeah, he took a big lump of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Which, that meant the next guy up, to Mofte, had to put the ball down in a hole, basically.
Yeah. It was like a lump of sand.
A hole that you didn't get out of.
Yeah. Because Packy Bonner was at the guessing right on every penalty. He guessed right.
He got his fingernails to a couple.
He nearly saved 3 or 4 maybe. And then Timofte came up to take the last one.
The poor young fella. You know what I mean?
And it was a bad penalty, you know, and Bonner just dived on it.
Yeah.
You know, and like it sort of set up everything.
Basically,
you know,
pushed it
back.
back.
The whole country held its breath then. Because Dave O'Leary took his time walking up to that penalty spot.
I'd forgotten. He
took about 5 minutes to walk up.
I'd forgotten David O'Leary actually came on, because he came on with about 12 minutes to go, wasn't it? And he was just typical David O'Leary. You don't notice great players sometimes because they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Exactly. He's steady. And
then he comes up against Timofte, who had the worst moustache in World Cup history, probably. You know what I mean? For the 90s, anyway. You kind of missed the memo, you know what I mean? That was exactly. They were for the 80s, those handlebar thingies, you know what I mean? But and then yes, talk us through your experience of that penalty?
The penalty, it was the amount of time he took to walk up to it, place the ball, walk back, turn around, and then
5 fingernails
stood
later.
there like for about, it felt like about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was only 30 seconds, but
Yes.
it felt like it because I mean every pub in Ireland was full with people just standing there holding their breaths,
Yeah.
you know, and it was like, come on, will you? And finally, he took the run up and boom into the net, and it was like just this big release, this explosion. It was like boom, and the whole country sort of burst into, I don't know.
I'll never forget that moment where you could almost hear Ireland scream.
Yeah.
I never forget that moment.
I mean, that meant World Cup quarterfinals.
I know, when it, like you're in the last 8 and you've gotten further than Scotland have ever got, further than Northern Ireland have ever got. You know what I mean? It was just incredible.
Yeah, it really was, because I mean, in '88 we were sort of just.
We were unlucky.
We were just sort of feeling our way into things, but with this, we actually felt like we were going somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. And we did feel like we had a chance against Italy. It was only 5 days later in Rome, you know.
Onto the hosts in Rome, where they're
couldn't have got
basically
a tougher draw.
basically they're back. Yeah, that was
It was the home stadium, that back garden, 70,000 Italians.
Yeah, and a team filled with excellent players again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? This was a really good
players.
Italian team who, as far as the game goes, I remember it was tight, but our midfield was really good. Andy Townsend had a great game that day.
Yeah.
You know, that was him coming alive in the World Cup. He was like, I'm going to own this stage.
Yeah.
You could see he was a future captain in the making.
I think the only thing was that once Italy scored, they were never losing it.
Yeah, do you want to talk us through the goal?
I mean, I think it was more. I mean, it wasn't any great.
There was a good movement. It was a good movement from Italy, actually. It was.
It was a very, very good finish. I mean, it was down the left wing, and Scalacci sort of just cut in and whipped the pass.
But then again, could Bonner have done better with that shot from Donadoni?
He had a lot of chance, you know.
It moved a little bit in the air, but I think he could have probably got that out for.
Well, I mean, he almost got there, but once they'd scored, they became Italy. And Italy, what did Italy do? Defend.
2 buses and a partridge in a pear tree, yeah.
And they're experts at it. And we never actually looked like scoring.
Well, there was one moment when, was it Quinn that hit the cross?
Yeah, it was Quinn as usual.
The top of the crossbar.
We lobbed the long balls up again.
And you could see the Italian players going, uh-oh, this could happen to us. Do you know what I mean? Course, these guys haven't lost all the way here.
It wasn't like we had them under pressure all the time. It was a chance here and there, and it was never. We never felt like we were actually going to do it.
And the Pope jinxed us as well, remember? Because we went to see the Pope. The team went to see the Pope 2 days before the match. Yeah. And I remember
the Pope blessed the team.
He blessed, of course he did. Yeah. But I remember the Pope John Paul, he was mad to meet Packy Bonner because he was a goalkeeper himself. Yeah. And he had a few words with Packy and he was like, oh, good luck on Wednesday or whatever, what day it was. And which Bonner didn't have any. But I love the story that about when they were back in the dressing room, Packy Bonner was just sitting there and he couldn't move. He was like, you could, like, Andy Townsend was there as well, and Jack Chatton said, "Come on, get changed up. We have to get on the bus and blah blah blah." So Packy leaves the room anyway, and Jack goes, "Andy, the fucking Pope would have saved that."
Which he probably would have in his day, yeah. But I mean, you can't buy memories like that.
Yeah, but
you can't.
There was no hard feelings.
No, because they came home to a hero as well.
Oh my!
Dublin Airport was absolutely jam packed because we got to the last 8 of the World Cup.
Yeah.
The furthest we'd ever got in the tournament,
and we would,
with the best teams in the world.
Yeah, we would remain in the top 10 for the next 4 years.
Yeah, we did really, really well.
No team in the world wanted to play us.
No, We were.
It was a bit sad that the journey was over and we were going to have to wait. Well, we didn't know this at the time, but we were going to have to wait 4 years to get back to a
It was
tournament
a bit
again.
sad that the journey was over,
Yeah.
but my God, did we make time for celebrations? As I said, that homecoming was brilliant,
Yeah.
and I think the countryside just shut down for a week or two because nobody did anything.
No.
You know, it's just celebrate.
It's not really. They're not really regrets, but if I could have been like 20 during that time, do you know what I mean?
I think I was 16, and we had plans like if we got through to the semi-finals, we were going, and that was it. We were getting tickets, and we were going. I think half the country was thinking that. We had plans, we had them booked, and all.
I have a funny feeling there would have been 100,000 Irish people there in Italy.
You can imagine it.
And
then it would have been probably Germany or Argentina or something, but we wouldn't have minded because it would have been a World Cup semi-final.
No.
But I don't think you can buy memories like that. You know, I still look back on them days, and like it's like how many years ago now? 30 years ago, 34. I mean, oh my God! And you can still remember all them things and all them little flashes and memories and all that excitement and the palpitations you got in your heart, and then the celebration afterwards, and you know, happy days.
And today we could only dream of having those players.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paul McGrath,
You
Kevin
never
Moore.
think
You could just name.
at that time we thought we were going to be there forever.
Yeah.
You're always going to be at World Cups, but it's so hard to do that. We haven't really been back since '94, so maybe one day, but we'll have to live on them memories for a few years. Yeah.
I think a very long time, unfortunately. Well, anyway, Will, it was great talking with you.
Thank you.
I hope the guys at home appreciated a little walk down memory lane.
Yeah.
And let's hope for another Italian 90 as soon as possible.
Yeah. We'll wait and see.
I'm old enough to drink now. So.
Thanks a lot.
See you guys.